Hi students. So now let's look at this few question over here. So now we'll be learning how to use the n term, the expression for the n term, and afterwards write down the first three terms of each number sequence. So for example, if the expression given to us is 3n plus 8, how do we use this expression of this number sequence and present the first three terms of this number sequence? Okay, so let me give you some tips on how to do it. So first thing, when we are asked to write down the first three terms of a number sequence, given the expression in terms of n, it's just the same as finding the unknown in formula. So when we say Tn, it means the n term or the n position. For example, T1 means the first term, T2 means the second term, and T100 means the 100th term. So you must be wondering, how does these expressions of the term in the number sequence help us in solving such question? So for example, let's look at some of the questions you go through in question 2 and 3. So for example, if I ask you to find, for example, question 2a, if I ask you to find the number 99 terms of this number sequence here, 99 terms, are you going to add 4 plus 4 continuously until you reach 99 term? It will be a very long process and it's very slow. So by finding out or using the expressions of the n term, it helps us to shortcut and find the term directly. So for example, for 2a, the expression in terms of n will be 3 plus n minus 1 times 4. And we simplify it, it will be 3 plus 4n minus 4, because we are trying to expand it. And we simplify it, will be 4n minus 1. So this is our expression in terms of n. So if you don't believe me, you can substitute or you can replace n with 1. And you notice that 4 times 1 minus 1 is 3, which is the first term. 4 times 2, which is 8, minus 1 is 7, which is the second term. And now using this expression over here, I can directly find out what is the 99 term almost immediately. So 4 times 99 minus 1. When I press into the calculator, so when I press in the calculator, it'll give me 395. So if you have measured the timing, you have noticed that I just use about less than a minute and I can find the 99 term straight away without counting plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4 so many times until I reach 99 term. It's too time consuming. So by using the expression in terms of n, this allows us to find any term we want in the number sequence of any position almost immediately. So let's look at some question here. So for question 4, let's highlight some keywords. They say given the n term, which is the expression here, write down the first three terms of each number sequence. So for question 4a, they tell me that 3n plus 8 is the general expression for any term in any position in this number sequence. So how do I use this expression here? So I just replace my n with a bracket, just like how you would do for a formula or expression, finding out some values. So 3, replace my n with a bracket, plus 8. So since I'm looking for the first term, so my n will be 1. So 3 times 1 plus 8 will be 11. So 11 will be my first term. So for the second term, it will be 3 times a number plus 8. So for the second term, right, what will be the number that we need to replace in the bracket to find what is the second term? Okay, so if you have noticed, the second term will be replacing n with 2 because we're looking at the second term. So 3 times 2 plus 8 will be 6 plus 8, 14. Okay, so all these numbers here, right, you can just easily key in the calculator and calculate it out. So let's look at the third term. So 3, what do I need to do first? After I write down 3, what do I need to do next? Okay, so you need to replace the n with a bracket. To remind you that you need to put a number into this bracket in terms to replace n plus 8. And for the third term, what will be the n in this case? So it will be 3. So 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 8 is 17. So this will be my first 3 terms of this number sequence here. So using the same concept that we have learned, let's look at part B. So same thing. For part B, they're also asking us for the first 3 terms. So whenever you see expression, they give you an expression and ask you to find the first 3 terms. All you need to do is to replace the n with a bracket. So I replace n with a bracket. So if I'm looking for the first one, I'll put my n as 1. If I'm looking for the third one, I put my n as 3. If I'm looking for the 99 one, I put the one as 99. If I'm looking for the term in the 1000 position, I put n equals to 1000. So it's very convenient. So in this way, right, what is the benefits of using this expression provided to us? We can just easily find any term in any position less than a minute. And we don't need to keep on counting like plus something, or minus something, all the way until that particular position. That one will be too slow. So let's try this one. 8. I replace my n with a bracket, minus 9. So since we're looking at the first term, my n will be 1. So 8 minus 9 will be minus 1. Let's look at the second term. 8. I replace my n with a bracket. So since I'm looking at the second term, the number in the bracket will be 2. So 16 minus 9 will be 7. And the third term, I replace my n with a bracket. So the number I put inside will be 3. So 8 times 3, 24 minus 9 will be 15. So when I given an expression, this is how I find the first 3 term or any term they ask us to find in a number sequence. So let's say if they ask us to find the 99 terms for 4b, I'll just replace my n, which is the number, I just replace my n with a bracket, and inside that bracket I put 99. So let's look at part D. So sometimes the general expression they give us can be in terms of fraction as well. So all you need to do is the same. It's always the same thing. Replace all the n or any variable with a bracket. Since I'm looking at the first term, same thing as well. I put n as 1. 1, 1. So now I just key into my calculator and I will get 4 over 6. But 4 over 6, right? Is it in the simplest fraction? No. I can further reduce it to 2/3. So whenever you write down any fractions as a final answer, please take note and beware of any fractions that you can reduce it further. So for term 2, same thing as well. 4, I replace all my n's with brackets. So since I'm looking at the second term, my n will be 2. So after I calculate, it will give me 8 over 10 or 8 over 7. So 8 over 7 will be my answer. But since it's an improper fraction, I need to reduce it to a mixed fraction, which is 1 whole and 1 over 7. Let's look at the third term. 4 bracket plus 5. I'm just replacing all my n with brackets. As you can see from the past two examples, 4a and 4b, all the methods are the same, just that we give you a different expression this time around. So since I'm looking at the third term, my n will be 3. So now all I need to do is to calculate into my calculator, use my calculator to calculate, and I'll get 12 over 8. Okay, so 12 over 8, right, is not the simplest form yet. So it'll be 3 over 2, which is 1.5. So these are my first 3 terms for this question. Okay, so for part C, I let you try by yourself. But something to take note, for n squared, is it equals to n times n or n times 2? Okay, so this question, I leave it you to go and find out or discuss with your friend. And I don't want to tell you now why. Because this type of expression, when it involves a square, cube or something, is a common mistake whereby you might confuse with some other things. So I need you to go and think about it before you do questions 4C. Okay. Anything to ask, please ask. Don't say I don't know. Don't say I don't understand. You need to tell me what you don't understand or what you don't know in specific term. And if you can tell me that, oh, what I know is this and this, how come it's like that? How come it's presented in this manner? So this is even a higher order questions that you can ask, because it shows that you have using some prior knowledge that you learned previously, to compare with these new questions over here. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.